Hello and happy Sunday. I'm excited to be back, and this time, as you may be able to tell from my background, I am in Bali again and looking forward to sharing some of the thoughts that I've had during this past week. For those of you who have been following along for the last few weeks, we've been on a journey and we've gone through a lot of different things. So this is all part of the series that I'm calling my Gary series. Grow actively refining yourself. Because isn't that what life really is all about? For us all to grow continuously, refining who we are. And it's not something that happens in one day, in 1 hour. It's something that is a process over time. And most of us tend to be pretty judgmental, pretty hard on ourselves. Would you agree? I know that I always have been. So after we have done our journey of the glyphs, we're going through some of the things that we all face. And last week, we talked about boundaries. This week, I go by using whatever card I happen to select. And this week, I selected with my intent the Rainbow Healing card of self-worth. Wow. This is huge for me. I don't know about you. So I have gathered a number of oils to use today. There are 4 single oils and 3 blends. And whatever oils you may have gathered, or if you've chosen not to use oils, that's fine. Just, go along with us. But I selected Geranium, Sacred Frankincense, Jasmine, Copaiba, Grounding, which is not a blend I use often. Probably I need it more often. In fact, my bottle doesn't have the labels from the last year on it. It's an older label. Transformation and Highest Potential. So I'm going to begin by applying oils. Is that a surprise? So the first one I'm going to use is my old bottle of Grounding, and I have ordered a new one. So as I apply these oils, and whenever you are applying them, you may remind yourself that your intent when you're applying the oil has a lot to do with the effect. The oils will work when you apply them one way or the other, but when your focus and intent is upon what you would choose for that oil to do, it is going to magnify the effect. Those were Gary's words, that these oils, the Young Living essential oils, are capable of holding intent. So as we hold the bottle before we apply it, we can intend that it have whatever frequencies we need at that particular moment. And intend that those frequencies, those energies go wherever they need to go to bring about whatever we're choosing to bring about, which for me is always harmony and balance. So the next oil that I'm going to choose today is Copaiba. And Copaiba, of course, is a very grounding, again, oil because it's from a big tree. It's also has been described as a magnifier of all of the wonderful constituents that are in Copaiba itself, and a magnifier of everything that it is used with. Wow, that is a lot of potential. Would you agree? So, as you breathe in the Copaiba, or whatever oil you're choosing to apply, just make that intent that it go wherever it needs to go to bring about that balance and harmony throughout. And now I feel a little bit more like I can begin, although I'm going to apply the rest of my oils as well. Now, why did I choose geranium? Well, geranium is an energy that it holds this vibration of initiating things, of getting rid of blocks, whether the blocks are at the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, or energetic level. That is huge. So I love a geranium, and I usually apply it most of the time. It anchors that frequency of the very first glyph in the rainbow healing journey. So, and what I chose these three single oils, next three, the geranium and the sacred frankincense and the jasmine, are because they anchor the energies of this particular glyph, which is self-worth. So I'm going to apply the sacred frankincense because it anchors that energy of acceptance, of embracing who you are, where you are on your journey, and allowing yourself to be who you were created to be. That is huge. And that has everything to do with our self-worth. Would you agree? We're going to talk a lot about what is self-worth. And the next one, though, I'm going to go ahead and apply my jasmine, because jasmine's going to allow me to draw back all of those frequencies, those energies, all of the knowledge and abilities of my authentic self, the way I was created to be, and weave me back together as my authentic self. In my opinion, each of us was created as a magnificent being with a perfect set of knowledge and abilities to do something. And through our travels, through our journey of life, we have lost sight of who we truly are. And this is where this issue, I believe, this issue of our self-worth, doubting our self-worth, comes in. Now, this is a huge issue for me, and I would pretty much say that it's probably an issue for most people. Because what happens to us? We are bombarded by all of the chaos in the outer world, and from a very early age, we are told, you know, we need to do something differently. All we need to do is pick up a magazine, and we see all of these amazing things that others are doing, and we feel that we're not good enough. Now, I imparted that to my children. Believe me, I grew up with it, and I imparted that idea to my children. I wish I could retract it. Unfortunately, as we all know, what is in the past is in the past. What is in the future, or is coming in the future, is whatever we create today. So we're at that threshold to create whatever we choose to create, as long as we can let go of all of that stuff that is in the past. Would you agree? So what happens when we're not good enough, or when we feel, when we believe that we're not good enough? Well, I wrote down a few things last night as I was thinking about this today. And I had a long list. I still do. In fact, I have it right in front of me so I can look down, because this is only a partial list, believe me. But the first thing is, when we believe we're not good enough, is that we lack confidence in ourselves. We lack belief in the value of our gifts. And we try to be like others. Now, I spent most of my life doing just that, which was putting on masks so that I could be what I thought others might like me better or think higher of me. I also was very, very competitive because I had to be the best in order to be good enough in my eyes. So I felt unworthy. If I'm striking a nerve with anyone, please, bear with me. You're not alone. You truly are not alone. And this can be a painful experience to really reassess, who we are. One of the ways that I found that this manifested in my life was that I would have lots of accidents, illness or disease. Yes, remember Frances' trampoline adventure and her flying incident a couple of years ago. Oh yes, and all sorts of little things, little different ways to punish myself. Does anybody identify? I'm not asking you to write a comment and say you identify, but I'm merely pointing out things that I personally have done and what they created. And they only made me feel worse, although I felt that because I was unworthy, it was okay, I could sacrifice. I could sacrifice because, after all, I could also be the martyr. Since it was okay, I could handle it. Others deserved it more than I did. So, I also always felt that I needed to prove how good I was. Second best was not good enough. It had to be number one. Well, let me tell you, understanding that that is not the most important thing was a huge awakening for me. When we always have to be the number one, we can become self-righteous and judgmental of those who are not competing, those who've gone beyond that competition. And, when we realize what we're doing, we might be able to stop pushing ourselves beyond those reasonable limits. This was a huge thing and still is something that I have to do on a daily basis. I have to remind myself. Stephen is always telling me, Frances, the tight string on a stringed instrument does not play. The loose string does not play. It has to be the middle string to get the beautiful sound. And this is a process for me and why I go through my journey of the cards on a daily basis and why I am constantly reassessing. So, I'm asking all these little questions and revealing what I've done in my past. So what are we going to do about it? That's really the key. I'm one of these who is a solution-oriented person. It doesn't help me to hear a lot of reasons and things unless we form up some kind of a solution. Well, the solution is to do something. Would you agree? This is what has appeared for me over a long period of time, that it's not what we do one time, lots and lots and lots of it. It's what we do over time, repetitively. And this was what led me to create that journey of the Rainbow Healing Cards, to go through those little steps to give me, because I am a process-oriented person, to give me some little form to go through to create a habit that would allow me to refine myself as I went along, but to reassess myself as I went along. Does that make sense at all? So I love going through all of these steps just as a reminder. I was really excited to see that those of you, some of you may have been at the Silver Retreat recently, and part of the gifts that Young Living gave to every one of those silver leaders who was there was a book by Darren Hardy called The Compound Effect. Well, before I ever read his book, that was something that had occurred to me and that I had used in my own process, realizing that it's not how much we do at one time. It's that we do something over and over and build upon it. And when you think about it, isn't that what we do when we are sharing and building a team with Young Living? That's one of the things I love most about Young Living and being a leader in Young Living, because what we do one day builds upon what happens the next day. And we can see it. We can see it in the people who are growing around us. And this touches my heart. This is what makes my heart sing. However, it's all about understanding who we are first. That we can't possibly understand others and lead others unless we understand who we are. And again, this is so great in this company because there is no right way or wrong way to do anything. You can do it all exactly your way. So if you're one who likes to do things your way, you're in the right place. Because since each of us has different gifts, knowledge, and abilities, it's all about discovering what are our gifts, what are our special talents. And usually that comes mainly, I find, from finding the things you like the best. What do you enjoy doing? Each one of us has our own set of things that we like to do, and you can build your life around those things that you truly enjoy doing. And that's when the passion grows, your confidence grows, your love of what you're doing and who you are, your self-worth. Understanding who you are, choosing to become more and more of who you truly were created to be. So I'm going to apply 2 more blends right now. I've saved the transformation blend for right now. And I'm going to apply that, intending that this be a time of real transformation. And I challenge each one of you to do the same, and then to reach my highest potential. So, instead of attempting to impress others, we can choose to love who we are and to accept and be that magnificent being that we were created to be. So I challenge you this week to take time daily to really observe and assess yourself. Grow actively reassessing yourself. Okay? And attempt to understand what it is that you really love to do and do more of it. Okay? And use your oils and have a beautiful week of transformation filled with joy and wonder and beautiful rainbows. And I'll see you next Sunday.